There's a reason they don't want you certain, because a clear mind is dangerous, and confusion, that's control disguised as chaos. They don't want you to see what's real. They just want you lost, questioning everything, especially yourself. But what if the confusion wasn't an accident? What if it was designed to make you forget who's really in control? Because the moment you start doubting your own reality is the moment they've already won. This is the psychology behind why they want you confused. The psychology behind why they want you confused. It starts with a question you never noticed until it was too late. Why does it always feel like they are one step ahead, yet nowhere to be found? You see, some people thrive on confusion. Not chaos, not anger, not pain, but the subtle, almost invisible erosion of clarity. They know that when your mind is clouded, you no longer trust yourself. Every decision, every thought, every memory, even your instincts become fragile. At first it seems harmless. A forgotten message here, a misplaced promise there, a smile that doesn't match the words. You shrug it off. You rationalize it. Maybe they're busy. Maybe I'm overthinking. But the pattern begins to emerge. They whisper things in passing, just enough to make you question, did I really hear that? Did I really see that? And when you ask, they deny it. Never angrily, never defensively, just a quiet, almost polite denial that leaves you questioning your own perception. It's subtle, but deliberate. And your mind, desperate for coherence, begins to chase understanding like a moth to a dim flame. You analyze every gesture, every tone, every fleeting expression. You replay conversations in your head, dissecting each word for hidden meanings. Your thoughts spiral, quietly, invisibly, into their labyrinth. And here's the cruel truth. They are watching, not just observing, but orchestrating. Every smirk, every hesitation, every contradiction is designed to make you doubt your own reasoning. They are not trying to control you. They are controlling the way you experience yourself. You start to notice the odd timing of their messages, the way they disappear for hours, only to return with a perfect, almost scripted explanation, the way their attention seems to flicker, just enough to ignite hope, just enough to make you think maybe I imagined the doubt. And then comes a subtle shift, the most dangerous kind. They begin to twist reality without ever directly lying. They imply things that aren't true. They highlight your mistakes as if they were monumental, while their own slips vanish into thin air. You're left feeling unstable, as if the ground beneath you is untrustworthy, as if you can't trust even your own memory. And yet, you want to understand them. You want to make sense of it all, because somewhere deep down, your mind believes that clarity is possible, if only you try hard enough. They rely on this belief. It's a quiet trap, a psychological snare that leaves you hunting for answers in a maze that was built around your doubts. It's not overt manipulation. It's far more insidious. It's the slow, almost invisible erosion of certainty. Every time you think you've regained control, a tiny seed of doubt sprouts, unnoticeable at first, but growing until it dominates your perception. By now you're exhausted, not from action, not from confrontation, but from the constant mental chase. Your mind races, your instincts waver, and your emotions fluctuate like storm clouds over a restless sea. Every encounter, every word, every silence has weight. Every nuance becomes a riddle. And the worst part? They never need to touch you physically, never raise their voice, never force a decision. They just exist, just interact, and the rest, is done inside your head. Your confusion becomes their playground. Your uncertainty becomes their power, and all you can do is follow, hoping for clarity that never comes. But this is only the beginning. You haven't seen the full pattern yet. The deeper games, the subtle orchestrated chaos that shapes your every thought, are waiting. And when the next move comes, you won't even recognize it until it's already changed you. Because the psychology behind why they want you confused is not about you. It's about the invisible hold they have over your mind, the quiet control you never even realized was possible. And soon, you'll see just how meticulously every interaction has been designed to keep you on the edge, always guessing, always questioning, never certain. You thought you understood the pattern. You thought the strange pauses, the misaligned words, the tiny inconsistencies were just quirks. But the moment you relaxed, the game deepened, because they know you're watching. They know every moment of hesitation, every doubt that flickers across your mind. And they use it. They orchestrate small moments, almost invisible to anyone else, that make your mind race. It starts with something simple, a forgotten lunch, a muted message, a smile that lingers too long or disappears too soon. But your brain notices. Your brain analyzes. Your brain starts compiling evidence, looking for meaning where none may exist. You catch yourself replaying past interactions. That casual remark on a Tuesday, the way they hesitated before responding, the way they looked at you in the corner of a room. And now every tiny detail screams significance. You start seeing contradictions everywhere. And still, the game is far from over. The deeper layers, the unseen moves, the twists that will make you question everything you thought you knew are waiting. What they said yesterday doesn't match what they said today. And yet, when confronted, they respond with calm clarity that leaves you questioning your own perception. Am I overreacting? Am I imagining this? The question itself is exactly what they want. Every interaction becomes a puzzle with missing pieces. You try to fit them together logically, but the shapes keep changing. A sentence you remembered perfectly yesterday suddenly seems vague. A promise they made is now rewritten in your memory, and your mind, desperate for certainty, starts bending, twisting facts to try and make sense of it all. You begin noticing patterns in their behavior you didn't see before, how they reappear when you least expect it, how they seem to disappear when you try to focus. The way their words are carefully chosen to provoke tiny shifts in your perception, small enough to escape attention, yet powerful enough to unsettle your reality. They know your weaknesses, not in the obvious way, but the subtle ones. The doubts you've hidden even from yourself, the insecurities buried deep in your mind. They touch them with precision, like a sculptor chiseling a statue. But the statue is your sense of clarity, and the more you try to fight it, the stronger it becomes. The more you analyze, the more elusive they get. They are like a shadow that disappears the moment you reach for it, and yet that shadow leaves traces, traces that make your mind question what is real and what is illusion. You start doubting people around you, friends, family, even strangers. Everything becomes a test. Every glance, every tone, every pause, it all feels like a message meant just for you. Your thoughts become a battlefield, and in this battle, clarity is nowhere to be found. And then the silence begins, the quiet moments where nothing is said, but everything is felt. Your mind fills the gaps with possibilities. Did they mean this? Did they do that? Am I missing something? And in those silent spaces, your anxiety grows, your reasoning twists, and the feeling of losing control creeps in. The psychological trap they've set is precise. It's invisible. It's not a confrontation, not an argument, not a fight. It's a slow, meticulous dismantling of certainty. You begin to question your memory, your decisions, your instincts. And while you spin in circles, they remain untouched, observing the chaos they've quietly created. Sometimes you catch glimpses of intention, an almost imperceptible pattern in the way they act. But the moment you think you understand it, they shift, and all your conclusions dissolve like smoke in the wind. You start feeling like a puppet on a string you can't see, and yet, strangely, you can't stop playing along, because somewhere deep inside, your mind clings to the hope that clarity exists. That if you just understand, just decode the pattern, everything will make sense. But it never does. Not entirely. And every time you think you figured them out, a new layer of their strategy emerges, a new subtle twist in their behavior that leaves you reeling. It's exhausting. It's maddening. And the more you chase understanding, the deeper the confusion grows. They feed on it, not consciously, not overtly, but with the precision of someone who knows exactly how the human mind works. And here's the cruelest truth. They are patient. They can wait days, weeks, months, even years, because they know time is on their side. The longer you remain confused, the more your own mind betrays you and the more control they have. Control you didn't even realize existed. Your instincts scream for escape. Your logic searches for patterns. Your emotions fluctuate between hope, fear, and frustration. And yet, the deeper you go, the more entwined you become in their web. And every interaction, no matter how mundane it seems, carries a weight you cannot measure. A glance that lingers, a message that arrives late, a word that is carefully chosen. All of it is calculated to leave you questioning, doubting, second-guessing. You try to rationalize, to compartmentalize, to regain your footing. But the labyrinth grows with every step. The uncertainty stretches, folding in on itself, until the line between reality and illusion blurs. And here you are, caught in the middle, aware that something is wrong, but never seeing the full picture. Knowing that clarity is possible, yet feeling it slip further away with each attempt to grasp it. Because what they want is not attention. What they want is your uncertainty. Your confusion becomes the playground where their influence grows invisible, imperceptible, and absolute. And when they strike next, the pattern will become clearer, but clarity will only deepen the suspense. The tension you've been carrying, the spiraling thoughts, the sleepless nights, the silent panic, was only the beginning. By now your mind has been a battlefield, each memory dissected, each interaction twisted into a riddle that seems unsolvable. You think you understand the game. You believe you've seen the pattern, caught glimpses of the strategy behind the confusion. But the truth is, you haven't, not fully. And that realization hits like a cold gust of wind in a dark room. The game was never about them. It was about you. Every hesitation, every contradictory word, every carefully calculated silence. They weren't just manipulating reality around you. They were exposing it inside you, forcing you to confront what you didn't want to see. Your reliance on certainty, your craving for validation, your instinct to chase understanding that can't be chased. And now the final layer begins to reveal itself. You realize that in every attempt to decode, to analyze, to regain control, you were following the path they designed. Each move, each thought, each flicker of hope or doubt, it was all a mirror reflecting your own vulnerabilities. They didn't need to act anymore. The confusion had become self-sustaining, and you were both the prisoner and the architect of your own entrapment. But there is a turning point, a moment, subtle at first, where the tide begins to shift. You notice a rhythm in their behavior that wasn't there before, a pause that isn't just absence, but invitation, a gesture that doesn't provoke doubt, but clarity. The subtle cracks appear in their carefully constructed pattern. And here's the revelation: the confusion, the uncertainty, the psychological labyrinth. They existed not solely because of them, but because you allowed it. You were searching for meaning in chaos, interpreting intention in randomness. And once you see that, once you truly recognize that the power they seemed to hold was a reflection of your own mind, the game changes. Your mind, exhausted yet suddenly sharper, begins to reclaim its territory. You stop dissecting every word, stop chasing every pause, stop spinning in the web of uncertainty. You observe instead of react. You see instead of imagine. You feel instead of interpret. They notice. And this is where the dynamic finally flips. The tension you carried, the suspense you endured, the mental exhaustion, they feel it too, like a shadow passing over them. They can no longer manipulate what no longer bends. And for the first time, the confusion doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you to release. It isn't vengeance, and it isn't confrontation. It's subtle, quiet, absolute. You choose clarity. And in that choice, all the power they held over you evaporates, not with force, but with recognition. You remember every twist, every manipulation, every silent game, and you allow it to exist in the past, not as a weapon against you, but as a lesson in awareness. You understand now why they wanted you confused, not to hurt you, not to control you, but to see if you could navigate the shadows of your own mind. And as you step back, finally free from the invisible strings, you notice the strange truth. They never intended to end the game. They never intended for you to fail completely. The confusion was never permanent. It was a mirror. And the ending, the resolution, was always in your hands. You smile quietly because the suspense that haunted you for so long no longer frightens you. It taught you instead. The psychology of confusion was mastered not by their manipulation, but by your awakening. And now as the final piece falls into place, the clarity feels almost surreal. The storm in your mind settles. The tension dissolves. And for the first time in months, or maybe years, you realize the game is over. But the understanding, the insight, the power is yours to keep. The psychology behind why they want you confused isn't a mystery anymore. It's a lesson. And the most powerful lesson of all, that control over your own mind is the only real power.